The game I want to talk about today is a social sandbox MMO inspired by the legends of medieval era with a community and emergent gameplay at its heart. It has full loot PvP, complex crafting, as well as housing. But the list doesn't stop there, it even has PvE raiding. Future developments promise tabletop games, territorial control, and even siege weapons. Oh yeah, and they've even promised to include dragons. Not just any dragons though, these are like the Game of Thrones meaty ones which look quite ferocious. So at this point you're probably wondering, what is this next gen game which will soon be dropping? Well, I gotta surprise you, it's actually already out. And it is of course Mortal Online 2.
Doesn't fucking love you.
Now before anyone throws a chair at me, just hear me out for a second. I'm fully aware of the reputation of Mortal Online 2, and I can understand why people are skeptical, but they have come a very long way in the last year and they look to have a good roadmap ahead.
You serious?
When Pax Dei was announced, it was promising a sandbox MMO with next-gen graphics, and it sounded very similar to Mortal Online 2.
Pax Dei is a sandbox PvX MMO that reminds me a lot of Mortal Online 2. Whoa, I didn't finish, sir. Reminds me a lot of Mortal Online 2 if it wasn't utter unplayable dog shit.
I'll be honest, Mortal Online 2 has a stigma about it because the first year of launch was terrible, alright? There's no way to explain it. It was fucking dreadful. But fast forward a year later, and there are heaps of improvements, and it still provides one of the most unique social sandbox PvX MMO experiences on the market.
We are.
Get this man 1 gold. We have to pay 1 gold for his services.
Make sure you're safe from darkness. That's all I seek.
We are not taking him. We are not taking him. No, we are not taking him.
And with their latest teaser trailer for Unreal Engine 5, which they've always promised and have always been working on in the background, you can't help but wonder, is this game suddenly going to be a competitor on the MMO market? Now, some of you might be wondering, what even is a Mortal Online 2? And the answer to that is, well, of course, it's the successor to Mortal Online.
I've been in the city 10 seconds and the first thing I see is a naked man on a horse. God, why do I play these games?
It's a first-person, hardcore, massively multiplayer online game. It sort of reminds me of Skyrim, just slightly more janky. It reminds me of Rust before it became super popular. But if you want to know more about it, I do have a video which I posted last year, which I'll link in the top right. But I really do think Unreal Engine 5 will be the big game changer. If you are releasing a modern MMO, it has to come with Unreal Engine 5. It's almost like the unwritten law. Ashes of Creation famously jumped ship from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5 mid-development. I say mid-development, but who even knows if Ashes of Creation will ever release. Leave a like if you think it will come out in the next 10 years. Essentially, Unreal Engine 5 makes the development process that much easier, it optimizes the game and just makes it render faster, so overall it's a better gaming experience. So if we take a game like Mortal Online 2, chuck it in Unreal Engine 5, and what pops out the other end? Well, it could potentially be one of the most visually spectacular MMOs on the market. Pair this with one persistent global server, PvP enabled at all times, which means friends could soon turn into foes, and so much drama, or content as I call it, that it makes Game of Thrones look very meek. Surrender, and it'll stop hitting you, just surrender.
How do I surrender?
Just do...
By taking your pants off and giving them over.
You have to give us your pants.
I need the pants.
Give us the pants and you would die.
Just take them off, trade them over. Let's go.
Nope.
Make it easy.
There we go. And it has all of this without Unreal Engine 5 as it stands. Unreal Engine 5 will simply optimize it and make the game run better, and will allow the devs to add more to this game, I hope. And all of this in 2023. That's of course assuming it does make that leap this year. When it comes to modern game development, it seems like no one wants to set themselves up for failure, so dates are always very elusive. However, the Mortal Online 2 guys do have a roadmap which they have been following quite vigorously. I present to you the Mortal Online 2 roadmap. She ain't pretty, but she'll do. Now, let's address the first obvious concern. When was Sprint 1? Well, I'm happy to tell you it was November last year, and they recently completed Sprint 4 just last month. So if you're going to look at this in terms of time frames, I mean, it looks pretty good. It looks promising. The refreshing thing is they're not restricted by the roadmap. Just the other day they announced an improvement to housing, and I have to say the way they describe it really does get me excited to become a housing sweat.
But you can't have walls. This is pretty garbage design. What? Are you not listening at all, or what? So if we add walls, we're stepping back to Model 1, which was a huge disappointment for everyone. And the game name was called Walls Online, and that's it. We don't want to play Walls Online. No one likes it. No one loves it. It sounds cool on the paper, but it didn't turn out as a game anymore after that. So obviously, if we have Walls Online, you will never see these cities. You will never have conflicts. You will only see walls. If that's what you want to play, then you can play Valheim perhaps and build those walls.
We're gonna build the wall. We have no choice.
But that's not really something we want to do, or no one really want to play around with.
Imagine a CEO answering the difficult questions. How refreshing. I'll be honest, since its official release, this game has always felt like it's been a early access beta. Yes, you had to pay for it, but at least there's something to play. It's not as if you're paying $250 for early access to an alpha which doesn't even exist. Say no names. And I know in this day and age, it's very easy to call a game a scam. I mean, I called 5 games a scam a couple of videos back. Check that out. But during my degenerate times last year, I was up at about 3-4 in the morning in a 300 versus 300 battle.
Fighting brothers! Yeah, come here, Nova! Stab me with your little dagger! My cock is longer than that dagger! Come here, X-Brock! Come here! I'm gonna spank you like your mommy spanks you at night when you're not a good boy!
And guess who else was awake? That's right, the CEO, who was live in one of the Twitch chats because they want to get data about the performance of the battle. That's how dedicated the devs are to this game. When was the last time you saw any devs take that much care and attention? I mean, it's safe to say they definitely believe in the project, and I think they are slowly growing a following. I think it's very easy to look at Steam charts and instantly judge. I mean, if it hasn't got 900,000 players, then is it even worth playing? But the thing is with Mortal Online 2, it did peak at one point at almost 10k, and if that launch had gone smoother, then maybe it'd be in a lot better position.
Why do people destroy their gods? How is it fair that you get saved while a beautiful, perfect god gets killed?
In the past year, it's had so many more improvements to the game, and on top of that, Unreal Engine 5 some point this year, maybe? I'm just saying, when they actually do go to relaunch this game, which would be when it's on the Epic launcher and they start advertising it, there could be a huge spike in players. And on top of the fact there is one consistent server, it's just going to add to the chaos, and it might actually finally live up to the potential that it should have reached on day one. This video isn't sponsored. I don't have a referral code to give you, and I don't even main this game on Twitch, so I'm not trying to get you to come over from this video to Twitch to watch me play this game. Actually, on second thoughts, shout out to my dead Twitch channel. I have an average viewer count of 10. Let's fucking go. But anyway, I digress. Mortal Online 2 quite literally gives me panic attacks when I play it. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, it actually excites me to play it. It gives me a sense of achievement when I do something great. And I have never ever come across a community just quite like the Mortal Online 2 one. They are batshit crazy.
Dare you make memes about me?
No! Don't hit me!
Where are your sidekicks now, Smalley?
These are the funniest role players I've ever seen.
We're gonna be role playing today.
Oh yeah, we're role players.
So what we're going for today is we're gonna be giving off the anime supervillain vibe. So you get into combat and you'll be like, now you shall face my blade! Oh, you did not just swing on me! Feel my wrath! take this. You will die.
Ian, can you get me yours?
By the light of my steel.
What you got? And it quite literally has had some of the best player-driven content I've ever seen in an MMO.
We will blow the conch of war! Let's kill these motherfuckers! In game!
So back to the reason I'm making this video. And to put it simply, everyone is looking ahead to the future for a new game to drop in Unreal Engine 5. Whereas Mortal Online 2 already is released, it's out there, and they've been working on Unreal Engine 5 probably longer than Ashes of Creation has. So maybe give it a chance. I'm not saying rush out and buy it right now, but just keep an eye on it, because it might just surprise you. And on that bombshell, I'll end the video. By all means, if you think I'm huffing copium, comment below. At least this game has actually been released. As always, feel free to like and subscribe. I'll leave a couple of videos on the screen right now that you might enjoy. And a big thank you to my YouTube members and obviously my Patreon members. You guys are the best. Bye bye for now.